The Democrats are desperately on the hunt for a fresh new leader with bold ideas and working class bona fides who can lead them out of the wilderness after a humiliating defeat. But they might need a wider net. According to a new poll, Kamala Harris is now the 2028 frontrunner. Yeah, the word salad queen who fumbled the ball and couldn't articulate a single policy without telling us about her being a middle-class kid, garnering 41%, with Gavin Newsom coming in second at 8%. And even Katie Couric is shredding VP Harris for giving word salad responses in campaign interviews.
I think she really did well in so many areas, and but I was frustrated by her inability to really succinctly answer questions at times, Jen. You know, people notice that, and it's like, answer the question, please.
Ooh, the party is also full of advice on how to win back the working class that jumped the ship.
When we have the historic perspective of workers leaving our party, we've got a serious problem.
I am trying to moderate the party. This is not about me, though. This really is about how we get the party back to a winning position. And we're not going to win the midterms.
You don't like something that somebody's saying, if you don't like something that somebody's doing, why not go talk to that person about it, and challenge them right then and there? How about grow some and go on these platforms?
All right, Jessica, it's been 2 weeks. Is Kamala Harris going to get a third shot in 2028 from the Democrats?
I would doubt it. I mean, this is usually how it goes. I mean, she's top of mind for everyone. She just ran. I think it's probably more likely, and they're sniffing around the possibility of her running for California governor than coming back to do this. But I think that the 2028 primary is going to be full of very interesting characters with a lot of good stuff to run on. And you saw that at the DNC. People like Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer, Wes Moore, Gavin Newsom, people with great executive experience and records to show off. What I did think was interesting to see today, so Dan Osborne, who was the independent candidate in Nebraska, running against Deb Fischer, he narrowly lost, a union leader, a Navy veteran, someone who wouldn't associate with either party at all, just launched a new group to get more working class candidates on the ballot. And I think that that's the kind of energy that'll be really good for the Democratic Party.
Greg, do we think that they will learn anything about this deep dive to the left, or will they run another San Francisco liberal?
No, that's an excellent question, Katie. I am curious to see what an actual Democrat sounds like. I don't care what they look like.
I'm right here.
You are. But if you care about what they look like, then you're still the problem. If you say, well, look, she's black, she's gay, she's female, she's trans, she's left-handed, she's a redhead. Fine, nominate Rachel Levine. But people want competence, they want common sense, they want centrism, they want some wisdom, some power with empathy. And for that, you're going to have to bury identity politics. The goal with the identity politics was to elevate specific groups that would then bind them together as a unified coalition, a melting pot without the melting. That was the problem. Turns out elevating the self doesn't pay the bills. People start to feel excluded when you see who you include. And there are more commonalities between different groups, believe it or not, than between people of one group. There's actually data on that, and I'd love to share it with you, but it's boring. I think the perfect candidate should also do something that almost none of them do on the left, which is assume the best and not the worst intentions of the opposition, meaning you can tell us we're wrong, but don't tell us we're evil. Yeah, I think this has been the fatal flaw for the last, 2 decades. You know, you're not just wrong, you're evil, and then that means we can demonize you, we can call you Hitler, we can call you Nazis. All these methods of demonization are on the table. I feel great when people tell me I'm wrong. I like it when they explain it to me. I know I can be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not evil. Unlike Jesse, who is evil.
Or Shannon Bream.
But not wrong.
Well, I'm sad to know my left-handed political capital is gone now. Apparently, that really is not great for me. But Jesse, wouldn't this be good for Republicans if they decided to run her again?
I hope they do run her again, but the Democrats don't usually renominate losers. That's what Republicans usually do. It's just not in their history. But she's on vacation. She's going to Hawaii with Doug. They're probably looking at the numbers and they're pumped. They're popping bottles. But I wouldn't get too excited because could she ever even win a primary? I don't know if she could. If you were a donor, would you give money to the Harris campaign again?
Not
after they
that.
just took it and gave it to Oprah and Al Sharpton and didn't go on Rogan? Hell no. I wouldn't go near it. Plus, even Bill Clinton said that they're probably not going to run another woman again. and that really hurts. Katie Curry bothers me because same thing. She's all critical after the fact.
Exactly.
What good is that? This is when you should have been critical during this whole election, because people do listen. That's what you have primaries for. Even around this table, we'll be like, did Trump really need to say she ain't black? Or did Trump really have to go 5.5 hours at the RNC? And he listens, and you get better. The Democrats haven't had an open primary for a long time. They haven't had media criticism. They've had a cover-up. So that's why they didn't see this result coming. It's going to be good. Next time, you'll have an open primary. Everybody will be just taking shots. They'll be taking shots at each other, and you'll have a nice, healthy process. That's how it's supposed to work in a democracy, Jessica. And I believe that Newsom has the inside track. Yeah. And not just because of his hair, because he can raise a lot of money. He's a tall white guy, which they need, not my words, their words. And
okay. I'm not sure.
I'm going to stop there.
I'm not sure Gavin Newsom is a good representative for the working class, Judge, but he certainly does have a lot of political capital.
You know, I think the issue in this segment is whether or not a failed presidential candidate can run for president and win.
Twice failed.
And the answer is yes, but she is no Donald Trump, okay? And that's the guy who, ran, lost, and ran and won.
Biden
so
too,
the
though.
But the big question is Biden. All right, but the big question is, the more she was on the campaign trail, the worse she became. The more we saw of her, everybody was so happy when she first came out because she wasn't Joe Biden, because she could actually walk on a stage and, actually maneuver herself. But, we don't know what the world's going to be like in 4 years. So I don't know if we can predict who's going to be ahead. I mean, I think right now with Kamala Harris at 41%, it's because her name is out there right now. What they don't show in this is that the next candidate, the next highest candidate at 16% is unsure. Mm-hmm. So people, I think, are looking for someone else. And, Gavin Newsom at 8%, I mean, he never got involved in Kamala's race. And he was preserving himself, and she's still beating him as of today, but that's really today. And in the end, I think the Dems have to really analyze themselves and what they did. I don't know if they can sit there and say, let's see if we can get the working class back. No, you have to go to where the working class are right now. They're not going to come to you because they're not buying what you're selling. They're not into this elitist, even the concept of, paying Hollywood elites to show up as though they're going to convince Americans that this is the right person to vote for. It didn't work with Hillary, and it didn't work with Kamala. So, I mean, everything about how they're thinking is not really relevant to what Americans are thinking, especially working Americans who are hungry and who have never before, I believe, felt as distanced from the Democrat Party, and for good reason, as they do right now.
We shall see. We're already talking about 2028. Thought that was banned until January, but it's not.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.